Nation of Fit in 10, welcome to day 64, 6 days to go, and this might be the most interesting or perhaps one of the most interesting videos that I'll do today. I think it will spark your interest. I guess you'll see. Hopefully you're gonna watch this. I sent out your numbers today, so please check your email. One last change to your diet, so have a look. Again, throughout this challenge, you probably noticed there's not really been a major or significant decrease in your overall calories, but some manipulation with your macros and some, to some degree, reduction in your overall calories, but not a huge amount. It's more about something reasonable over time. And of course, if you didn't already notice, there's been obviously an adjustment to your protein through time. Anyways, let's talk about why. Well, there's different ways we could title this, but why is it that people tend to get fatter after they diet? Or why do they get fatter as they go through periods of dieting? Now, that's not to say when they're dieting, they're getting fatter, but it's what's happening over the long term. And this is, of course, something that I'm always thinking about. And this is one reason why I give you a little more calories, perhaps, at least in the beginning, than you might otherwise expect when you're in a deficit. But really, when we think about dieting, when we think about maintaining body composition or losing body fat, we really ideally want to have as many calories as we can possibly get away with. And there's really good reason for that. And I probably won't get into it in this video, but maybe tomorrow I'll get into it. There's some really good reason for it. So, and I've talked about this a little bit in the past. I'm going to talk about it again here in more detail. So the number one reason why we tend to see people get fatter over time when they're going through periods of dieting and then not dieting, that is, they go through their perhaps motivational period where they're following some kind of deficit, and then they stop the deficit and they return to normal life, so to speak. The number one reason here is the calories are too low, and this can be a problem, as I'll get into in the future here, in the near future. When the calories are too low, this is just simply not sustainable. This is not, for several reasons, and one of them is you're not eating enough. So you're going to feel extremely hungry, especially over time. But two, you cannot function even just from a non-exercise standpoint. You're not functioning as readily as you would if you were eating more. So essentially, your energy expenditure goes down, right? We've talked about this a little bit before. As your calories go down, especially if they go down significantly, your general energy output will go down. So you're just kind of spinning your wheels because your energy is going down, your energy intake's going down, but your energy output's going down. So one's just offsetting the other. And of course, it's just not sustainable. You're not going to feel like you're having, this would be really point two, that you're having necessarily the most productive workouts, and you're not. You're not going to be able to train as an athlete. Now, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but why not have better recovery? Why not have better sleep? Why not have better maintenance of lean muscle mass? Why not have better performance in the gym? All of these things, plus more, are going to help you to take more fat off your body. And at the same time, you're going to feel better. So we've got to be really, really especially very cognizant of that lower performance in the gym. Or maybe outside the gym for that matter. You know, like I mentioned, your non-exercise activity. We want to make sure, ideally, obviously, you want to be able to perform. And with performance is going to come better gains, especially when we're talking about, at the very least, maintenance of lean body mass. Now, when calories are very low, especially if we go into a sudden deficit, a sudden large deficit in calories, we see a loss in lean body mass. So we see a loss in metabolism. So once again, we drop the calories down, we see a loss in the overall metabolic rate. And speaking of which, when calories are substantially decreased, we see a down regulation in a lot of metabolic factors. But let's go back to lean body mass here. Lean body mass, again, you keep hearing me say this, but you gotta understand that it can become very frustrating if you're losing lean body mass, because you're going to not be able to eat as much and keep the weight off. If your lean body mass is less than it was, weeks beforehand, let's just say, for argument's sake, you went through a 10-week diet with a pretty extreme deficit, you're going to definitely lose some lean body mass. And when you try to get out of your diet, when you try to, whatever you're going to do, reverse diet or go back to normal, definitely I wouldn't suggest going right back to normal, or maintenance calories. Your maintenance calories are not going to be your maintenance calories. They're going to be lower than your old maintenance calories. So we need to be very, very, very careful with this. All right, so we'll get a little bit more tomorrow into what happens to your metabolism. We'll get into, let me be more specific, what happens to your basal metabolic rate. We'll also get into a little bit more of what can happen too if you suddenly increase your calories. And this can be a major problem. So stay tuned for that. Let's get to the message of the day. Message of the day on this day 64. You may not like this one, but I'm going to say it anyways. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. And it's always worked this way for myself. If I've wanted something bad enough that is, if I've wanted something bad, there's many things I've wanted, but I haven't wanted them bad enough because I haven't found a way to do it. So where there is a will, there is a way. You will find a way. If something is important enough to you, you will find a way. And this is, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that, you're weak or you're whatever you can think of that would put you down. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that where there is a will, if something's important enough to you, you will find a way to do it. And quite often, this is nothing more than time management. It's just time management, which I'm sure we can all work at a little bit more, including yours truly. All right, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself for the love of God. Give some gratitude more on why dieting, especially extreme dieting, makes you fatter over time tomorrow. See you guys.